a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have
Good
a business
afternoon,
plan?
everyone.
Just
This is the
review
Business
the
Zone
page,
with
Crystal
and Gilbert
Mitchell,
Buchanan,
do you
your
have a
small business
plan?
paramedic.
Just review the pages
Small
of
Biz
our
Bro, how you
marketing
doing
plan.
today?
Got my capabilities,
Well,
yes, I'm ready
we're going to have
go.
a fantastic show today. We've got two great guests who's going to be on our show. And Crystal, what have you been doing?
This has been my give back summer.
I know.
But I did get paid for it, so it's not that much of a give back. Because you got to make some money nowadays, you know that.
Right.
But this was the closing. Yesterday was the culmination of the 2008 Biz Camp.
Right.
And so the kids graduated yesterday. They presented their business plans. It was an awesome, magical day.
Amazing, huh?
Amazing. And it's so funny when they first sit down and we have nothing, right? We have nothing. They're like a blank sheet of paper, and then to watch their businesses evolve and come to life, and then we have some feasibility issues like, oh, this is not going to work because I can't figure out how to make money out of it. When we get to the business model, and we have
a phone call.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. We haven't even gotten to 2 seconds of the whatever.
This is great.
I love it.
So, hello, caller. Are you on the line?
I'm here.
Yes. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
Majority from Encino, California.
Hi. How are you? Welcome to the Business Zone.
What did you say your first name is again? I'm sorry. Balance. Thanks, Balance. I appreciate it. It must be super hot over there, right? About 120 degrees?
Used to be. Right now it's about maybe 98 degrees.
98?
Yeah, and the humidity is like 80%.
Oh, man.
So you think it's going to be like 400 degrees, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still 400 degrees.
I feel like 400 degrees.
Yeah, if it don't drop down past 75, it's still hot.
I know. Well, Valence, welcome to the Business Zone. How can we help you, or how can you share some good news with us today?
I'm here for Michelle Collins and Wendy Talley. I am one of the supporters for them.
Oh, okay, excellent. So they're going to be on air in about 30 minutes. So do you want to stay on the call, or did you want to call back?
Oh, no. I stay on the call because it was a pain in the butt for me to come into this call anyways.
Okay, no problem. So we'll put you on hold for a little bit, Balance. We really appreciate you calling in, and at least you'll get to hear some other interesting stuff in the meantime, right?
Awesome.
Oh, good. Great.
We'll put you on hold, all right?
I'll be on you too.
Okay, perfect.
All right, fantastic.
Thank you.
So the kids, they all came together. They brought us some amazing business plans, all 25 of them.
Wow.
But it was interesting because our young ladies were far more mature than our young men, which is probably not interesting. That's expected, right?
Yeah.
But a big gap. And so, in fact, at one point, they were horse playing and doing a lot of stuff, so we separated the boys from the girls. We put them on one side of the room and the boys on the other side of the room. And the girls are like, oh, we like this so much better. And so they were able to outshine. So day one, about day 4, I went, oh, my God, these girls go wipe the ground with these boys. And they did. They rose to heights that were just absolutely awesome.
I like that.
And so we had our business plan pitch competition yesterday, and so the 3 businesses that one was Harmony Room, and Harmony, her business was creating an app initially a website, but an app that would allow teenagers to have a place where they receive motivational quotes and then they get an opportunity to speak with therapists if they're going through depression and any stressful environments or feeling suicidal or what have you.
Right.
And she presented it like she was a pro.
Wow.
Just a pro. Everything I fed in came right back out.
So is she one of the winners?
She was with the first place.
Oh,
so she won
good.
$750.
So we'll get to see her on the air in a few weeks?
Yeah, she's actually going to Skype in because she lives in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
And so she went home last night.
Right.
And then the second place winner was a young lady named Winters Chambers, I think her last name is.
Yeah.
And Winter had an app to bring financial literacy to youth.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
And it's called Generation Z Wealth Development.
I love that.
And just on top of it from day one, she knew what she wanted to do.
Yes.
And she knew that how important financial literacy is, and she also recognized that was a void for their age group.
Yes.
And so she was right on it. Again, a pro in presentation. And then our third place was a young man named Amir Ray.
Right.
And Amir's business idea was an aromatherapy pen.
Right.
So when you're writing so when you're writing and you're all stressed and your brain starts to shut down, then you can push the button and you'll get like lavender or rose scent.
That is amazing.
I know, something.
These kids are phenomenal.
Isn't that phenomenal?
Yes.
Yeah. So something that will stimulate your brain and relax
and
it.
you know they say lavender is really good for tranquility.
Right.
Really is good. So I don't know if that was an accident or
no. Because here's the thing. There was a thing. Hey Marty. Hey Donna. Hey William. And George. Here was the thing. There were 5 businesses that these kids were creating around that different kids that was around stress and stress for the youth, for the kids. And so about day 4, I went, okay, there's a theme happening here.
Yeah.
So then I actually talked about that. Why are you guys... This is not an accident. Mm-hmm. So what is so stressful about being a teenager today? Yeah. And so we had a laundry list. It was like 3-column bullying,
and all of that.
Exceeding, being able to make sure you're performing at high levels, maintaining high grade point averages, and all of that. And then I kind of put myself in their positions like, wow, when I was a kid, I wasn't under that much stress.
I never dealt with most of that stuff.
No, we didn't get stressed to college.
Right.
But at home, it was different, right?
And this is a totally different day.
These kids go through so much. Yeah. So it was 4 or 5 businesses that was around, and another young lady, her business was a blog where she would monetize it, and that blog would be so that they would have an outlet to help diminish their stress. And hers was, the name of her business was Surviving Adulthood. Wow. So their thing was that we're not prepared in school to be ready for adulthood. Mm-hmm. We don't know how to select apartments. They know nothing about credit. That is so amazing. So this was her business, was helping you survive adulthood. Right. Yeah. So this is what these kids
phenomenal, man. It's got my brain thinking now. I'm going, wow. That's
and it's so funny because all of the we had people come in, the professionals and other business people come in that are colleagues of mine. And Carolyn Hine was over there. Carolyn was just like a godsend yesterday because she came with her little mighty camera. She does more with her cell phone camera than some photographers, right? So Ian was our photographer for the day and videographer. Okay. But Carolyn was on it and keeping the kids. And so one of the little boys, he went running to the bathroom and came back shirt tails all on, tie all thrown off to the side. She's like, get back over there. Because she's all about etiquette, right? So she's sitting back. So when he came out, his shirt tails. She had to go back in and tuck his shirt tails in. And just at that point, they called him as the winner.
Wow.
So he come around the corner and ran on stage, and I went, Carolyn, thank you, good looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was gonna look all disheveled.
Yeah.
So, but it was good. Norm Nixon was our keynote speaker.
Cool.
And so he surprised the kids.
Yes.
He gave them a $50 for all the kids that didn't win.
Yeah.
He gave them $50.
Oh, that's
per
good.
child. So, it was like
so 20 of them got 50.
That
is great.
Right.
That's $500 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they took to the kids.
Oh no, that's $1,000.
No, the $1,000 was $1,150.
Yeah.
So the kids got the first prize, so that was $750, $500, $350.
Yeah.
Then all of them get paid $200 for participating. Some of them had some reductions because it's also based upon behavior and any infractions that may have taken place.
Yeah.
And then we had the fast pitch, so there was $100 to be won there.
See, that gives me an idea. Gives me an idea because you remember how we're doing these training programs,
right?
And small businesses, they really don't participate as much as they should.
Right.
We should do something like that.
Right.
Where we kind of give them a reward for participating. So if they get 100% participation, then they get something.
Right.
If they don't, they miss a class and that's it.
Yeah. So they could only miss 2 classes.
Yeah.
And some behavior, because there was some behavior.
Yeah.
You know, because when you're dealing with children, obviously you have to give incentives, right?
Yeah.
And so, and our boys were very rambunctious, so couldn't keep their hands off each other. And then, well, a couple of them go to all boys schools, so now they're in a classroom with girls, and so it was a lot of. It's not just education like we do with our adults.
Right.
This is also teaching them to, behavior and controlling their emotions and guidance and suggestive thought processes and helping them reach out beyond their little scope of their little world.
Yeah.
And so
I'm hearing some voices in the headphone. Do you hear it? Do you hear voices?
Yeah, let's see if we can.
Lauren, can you hear some voices in the headset? Can you tune it out for us? I don't know where it's coming from.
Okay, it's better, I think.
Yeah, that sounds a little better.
So it's good. So next year we have to have you come out because I know you were so busy.
Yes.
So my friend Armand, he came out, and Armand is in the digital world.
Yeah.
He was so blown away. So the first day he came and he spoke to the kids, and so this was his first time speaking to kids.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say to him, Crystal. But then he deals with, or a lot of his clients are YouTube influencers.
Oh, okay.
And so once he started throwing out some names, which I don't even know who they are, the kids knew who they were. Oh, he was like a rock star at that point, right? And then we had Greg Winston.
Yeah.
He came and he spoke to the kids, so he was thrilled.
Yeah.
Jennifer, my client, Jennifer Wilson.
That's
she
good.
Came
you got
out.
some pretty good people.
Yeah, I did. So it was great. It was a good experience, and the kids. So we're going to expand it, so that the kids are just not creating these businesses for the right now, and then we do nothing else with them.
Yeah.
So we're throwing around some ideas, like an entrepreneurial club, where the kids come in once a month, or we do a Skype online type of environment. Armin had some great ideas, and then we're going to expand to the millennials. So we're going to do probably an 8-week camp for the ages of 18 or maybe 20 to 27.
That's great.
And they will actually, so what our goal is to get some high-level type of businesses, or if they're in some sort of, back the default business, really putting it in a structure.
That is great.
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet the winners on the show.
So they're going to be on the show. Hey, Romney. Hey, Tony. We're going to have them on the show next week. So I'm going to make sure with the parents that the winners from both camps will come on the show.
Well, I met a gentleman yesterday at the workshop that I gave over in Riverside. And he was talking about recycling black dollars in the community. And I was wondering if he knew you. His name is Len Cooper. He runs an organization. It's called PHP. They provide wealth management and financial management
I think
services.
I have met him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's a doctor, professor, PhD.
Okay.
So, after I did my workshop, he presented, and he spoke some good things about recycling black. He was saying some of the same things you do, that, the dollar stays only 6 hours in the community. In the Asian community, it stays 20, it goes around 20 times. In the Jewish community, it goes around, I think, 14 times. Latino is about 10 times. Mm-hmm. And, in African American, it's 6 hours.
6 hours.
So, that was amazing. And they have an event coming up September 7, 8, 9 at the LA County Fair.
Okay.
That has to do with black empowerment, black economics, that type of thing.
Well, because we right now, there's a report, and when I went to the Power Network conference, there's a report that the gap between our wealth and white wealth is, it would take us 249 years to be able to even halfway close that gap.
I'll be dead multiple times.
Times. And so will all the children and everything. So there is a crisis now, and we can't ignore it any longer. We can't pretend that it doesn't exist. Yeah. And I think what we have to do is, we're such hey, Nikki, we're such a let's include everybody kind of situation, whereas other ethnicities take care of self first and then expand to everybody.
Right.
But because we have done that, we help everybody else.
Yeah.
And obviously we're spending our dollars everywhere else.
Right.
And we will be extinct if we don't start worrying about self and only self.
Exactly.
And then reach out. I know Jackie went to an event a couple weeks ago. I think it was held by S.M.A.R.T. And this young lady, she was a millennial. And that's why we kind of have to bring our millennials in so that they get the wisdom and experience from us. So we may not be as tech savvy, but we come with wisdom.
Right.
And we come with life experiences. Yeah. And our life experiences are based upon situations that have been detrimental to our culture, right? And so she was telling, she was saying it in general, but of course Jackie took it because of what we do. Yeah. So she was saying that we can't isolate our race. We shouldn't talk about just doing black stuff. Right. We have to do that, and that would be fine and dandy if we weren't 249 years behind everybody else.
Behind the 8 ball.
We're behind the 8 ball, right? So when we think about that, and then add in all the political stuff that's going on now,
that's designed to keep us down.
Right? And for us, it's about power, right?
Yeah.
So if we don't come and stand behind each other and fight for each other, then it diminishes the power of everybody in our race. So then that means that when someone wants to call because you're using coupons and call the police and say or any other nonsense that's been going on, it's because there's no power.
Right.
So they feel that they can do that to you. And then on the other side of that, they feel the people, the ones that are being targeted, they feel if they call the police, then they're going to be the ones that go to jail.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. So that diminishes your power on this side and diminishes your power on this side.
Right.
But if us as a people, there's 13 million of us. If 13 million of us like, oh, hell no, we ain't dealing with that anymore.
Right.
The gay and lesbian community, they do that. The Jewish community, they do that. The Latino community do that, right?
Yeah.
But the black community, we're not supposed to do that.
No, we're splintered.
We're splintered, right? And so if we continue the situation we're in, then we are all in danger. And most importantly, our children are in danger because we may be able to, and at this point, there is nothing that you can say or do that if someone is out to get you, out to destroy you, we've talked about it. Whether you're calm, you're dressed right, you're not dressed right, you're sagging, you're not. The problem is the skin color.
That's right.
And we cannot take the skin color
It's a
off.
common denominator.
That's the common denominator. So nothing that we do, no way we speak. Now, I personally think after the fact, because of the best thing about social media is they can identify these people right away. It would be worth every dime you had to turn around and sue them.
Right.
Because that's the only thing people hear is when you go to start attacking their pockets.
Yeah, when the pocket will get affected, then.
When you get affected, you won't have people calling because you're barbecuing. And it's interesting because this past week I was celebrating a friend's on Saturday. We went out to Newport Beach and to the Newport Marriott Villas. Really a beautiful place right there on the coast. And so my girlfriend always goes there. That's her getaway, right? So her husband's birthday was this weekend, so we went out there. So about 15 of us, all of us dressed nice. Obviously, you had to have a few dimes in order to even be there, and they were staying there for 4 days.
Right.
It's a timeshare environment.
Yeah. That was last weekend,
That
right?
was last Saturday.
Okay.
So we go, and we're going to barbecue. So we came out, and my girlfriend went overboard with the food, right? She had, like, just big pallets of ribs, like 4 slabs of ribs, and chicken, and shrimp, and you name it. Yeah. So we were grilling them. So we're the only black people that was there.
Yeah.
Other ethnicities. So as we're coming out, all the people like looking at us like, what y'all doing here?
Yeah.
And then they started, and this is Bolden, they came up like, wow, what are you guys doing? That seems to be, wow, that's a lot of meat. You guys are really doing things big, aren't you? Now, how many times do you think you would have done that if you were at a public resort and somebody's fixing their meal? Yeah. It's dinner time.
Right.
Wow, and they kept coming over.
Yeah.
And it wasn't we were infringing on anything. We had the one little grill. It was there for everybody.
Yeah.
And so some of them kept looking, and they'd look at one, and then one of us, 2 or 3 of us would come out, and they'd see we were all dressed nice, and then the birthday guy came out, and he was dressed to the nines, all white. Everybody's looking like we just gone on a cruise ship, right? Yeah. We're all in white linen and navy and that kind of stuff, and they were like, okay. And then so my friend's brother, what he did was we had started when the meat was coming off the grill. Yeah. He actually offered some meat to one of the guys, and then that kind of diffused that, right? And then
did they take it?
Yeah, they took it because they were sitting over there like they were salivating. It was an interesting. And then there was one Asian lady that kept staring at me, and I was talking to someone, and she was like looking in my mouth, like reading every word. Yeah. And then I could feel her. Yeah. And then I turned around and I looked at her and I stared at her like, what's up?
Yeah, yeah.
And then she turned her head and then she came back and she looked like, what? We're not brand new. Black people are not brand new, right? We didn't just get here yesterday. Yeah. And we're some foreign alien from outer space.
That is unbelievable.
And we got 4 heads and 2 tails. Right? If you haven't seen us in your neighborhood, you've seen us on television. Yeah. You've seen us in the market. You've seen us at public places. We work at DMV. It's like
unbelievable.
It's interesting. And so, I mean, no one said anything that would make me go off because, I ain't the one, right? So everybody, but it was just the conversation because I'm waiting. Yeah. Just step over and be like, make my day. Just make my day because I'm not going to curse at you, but when I get done, you're going to crawl away because I got my script ready, man. We're going to do the Dungeons on this one. It is not going to be pleasant for them. So I was just waiting. But they kind of kept it. They just kept like we were a wonderment. Like, one, how'd you guys get in here? And 2, what do you guys got money for food? I mean, it was just weird.
That is unbelielievable.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, see, you probably worse. Like I say, don't cross over here, man, because you're going to get your feelings hurt.
I probably would have reacted a little differently.
Right. So we were like, okay, well, this is his birthday.
I probably would have gone over there, okay. What's the deal?
Yeah, why are you looking at me like that? Why you can?
Yeah.
And they were, and this is the interesting thing, they were fixing their own meals.
Yeah.
For their own dinner,
Right.
and they were going to eat on the patio. So it's not like we were doing anything any differently than there was. But that was last Saturday.
Yeah.
That was like,
they didn't spoil your fun or your event or anything, right?
No, I didn't let nobody spoil my time.
That's right.
No, and
That's right.
with me working this last 2 months have been pretty darn intense with the first camp and then traveling for that week. And so
all in all, you guys had a good time.
We had an excellent time.
That's good.
Then came back and finished up the camp. The kids, I told them, like on Tuesday, I said, okay, we at D-Day now. Because graduation is Thursday, so if you guys don't get it, and we don't have time for no horseplay, no playing around, and so they stepped up.
That's
and
good.
Then a couple of them performed at the graduation.
That's good.
So it was good. And
good.
The president of the Urban League, he was just so impressed.
That's great.
Norm Nixon was just blown away.
Excellent. So next time it's going to probably the support and participation is going to be much greater.
Oh yeah. We
That's
already
good.
have a number of the ones that came out to coach the kids. In fact, Brian Grant from City National Bank, he came out and he and one of his the community outreach manager, and they coached. And Brian was sitting there going like, okay, so next year we want to know early enough. Can you let us just know like in the next couple of weeks when you're going to have the camp?
That's good.
And we're going to bring out all our banking professionals.
That's good.
So
are they going to put some funding in there?
that's the only way you can come to the table, man.
Okay.
Because we can't teach children for free.
That's right.
So I let them know how much the program was.
That's good.
If the kids were to play. So it was totally free for the kids.
Good.
And it was about a $1,500 program.
Maybe what they could do within the program is try to get one bank to sponsor each kid.
And now that would be a
You see what
great
I'm saying?
idea, right?
That would be good. One bank sponsoring, and if they want to sponsor more than one kid, then that's all good too.
And sponsor it all the way to execution.
Yes.
Right, not just for the camp, but for the ones that
could be part of your proposal next time.
And one of the things that Brian said to me I liked, and I think that all of us as professionals should really. He was saying he decided this year he wasn't going to sit on any boards. What he wanted to do was to do one-on-one mentoring. So good. He is mentoring 5 young men this year. And then some people were like, well, wait a minute, what about the girls? So he's going to take on about 10 kids a year.
That's even more beneficial than sitting on a board. Right.
So I think all of us should look at that is mentoring, because our children need us.
Oh, for sure.
And there's so many gaps in their education that they don't get.
Yes.
Which you would not think. And I was telling a friend of mine, here's what's interesting. They always say that our kids are lacking in sciences and mathematics. In these 2 camps, these kids were so sharp with math. One young lady, she has every math, algebra from 1 to 3, calculus from 1 to 3, trig from 1 to 3, statistics from 1 to 3, and anything else that you take all the way into college. This young lady had already finished those courses.
Really?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And all the girls were saying, well, I'm taking college courses right now, so I'm only going to spend 2 years in college.
That's amazing.
And I'll be done.
That. I like that a lot.
Right. None of them want school loans.
Yeah.
They're like, how do I do that? So a lot, and I learned this from Carolyn, and we need to meet with Carolyn because there's about $100 million out there in the school system.
She sent me some stuff which I need to.
Yeah, so we need to make
a
time to meet with her. Hey, Dawn. She was saying that. One of the schools, I think it was LACC, got like $100 million budget for outreach programs and educational entrepreneur for young people.
Well,
so
we need to get on that this week.
Yeah, so Carolyn, if you're listeing, Gilbert, I just told him, so we're going to meet with you ASAP.
Yes, she said let's do it, Carolyn. Let's do it.
Yeah. But she was saying that there are like 5 high schools that are on college campuses right now. And those kids, the plan is straight from high school straight into 2 years of college. They already enrolled, so they're enrolled on one, and then and that enrollment in the high school will send it right into the enrollment in junior college.
Wow, that's great.
And they're learning they're coinciding the education path.
That's great.
So they'll be finished with all their academics for college the first 2 years.
That's amazing.
And it's all taking place while they're in high school.
So then it will end up costing them less to go through a 4-year program.
Right.
Because if they already did 2 in that part, all they need to do is 2 more to get their undergrad.
Yeah.
That's great.
Isn't that amazing?
That is great.
Okay.
Well, we're at the bottom of the hour. It's amazing how quickly the time flies. So you're listening to the Business Zone. Our phone number here is 323-293-3375. 323-293-3375. If you got a question, if you want to add to our show, share some information, some great insight about your small business with us, we would really, really like to welcome that. So give us a call. And you're listening to Crystal
and Gilbert
on the Business Zone. We're going to go ahead and take a break.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Excellent. Are you contract ready? Are you bank loan ready? So I want to know how business ready you guys are. Part of what we want to do is to match you up with contract providers in Vegas, the casinos.
We put together this training for the contractors in Las Vegas to assist them in becoming business ready.
You know, when you first start a small business, the thing you're the shortest on is resources. So the association is actually providing the training free.
Now, Buchanan Associates, they're very well known throughout the U.S., mainly out of the California region, but they have produced so many successful companies that we felt if we brought them here to train our people, that it would allow for that growth because we have so many public works type projects, stadiums that are going to be built slated between now and the next 2 years, prepared to be able to do that work.
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Crystal.
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And Crystal, who do we have in the studio today?
Well, we have two ladies in the studio today that are just awesome. So our first one, her name is Wendy Talley, and she is a licensed clinical social worker, has been for the past 18 years in Los Angeles, and she uses her expertise in behavioral health to help people live out their destiny on purpose. She has spoken on many platforms, Black Women Rock Conference, Run Women Conference in Dallas, and she's been on radio a number of times. And now I hear you're mentoring and coaching entrepreneurs on how to develop effective SMART goals.
Absolutely.
Right, and you've written a book?
Yes, I have.
Okay, SMART Goals Time Management Workbook, which can be found on Amazon.
Absolutely.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Crystal.
Welcome to the Business Zone.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. So I want to know how, because the first thing I said to her when I came after I read her bio is, how do you go from clinical social worker to doing what she's doing? Because that's not usually the path. Right?
Absolutely. No, you know what? What I did was in having clinical skills and working with people, they're always in the line of looking for guidance, looking for solutions. Whether if you are a business person, whether if you are a single mom, a family, it doesn't matter. You know, people start businesses,
right?
Not roles.
Yeah.
And so I find that a lot of my clients needed, you know, once they got done with mental health therapy, they needed life coaching. So I said, well, you know, I know a little bit about both. I've already gone to school for it. I don't need to get certified in it. So I said, why don't I transfer those skills to be able to help entrepreneurs learn specific task-oriented goals that can focus on whatever it is that they need to focus on in regards to their business, but also help them identify some of the barriers that's preventing them from making money. Not so much, and being very, very careful about how not to provide therapy.
Right.
So sometimes you have to really listen to what they're saying and say, okay, we're not going to do therapy today. We're just going to be able to identify your barriers and give you some tools to be able to work through those things outside of me, and, you know, so that your business can grow, and then I can refer you, you know, to clinicians that are in my practice.
That's
great. That's great. I was trying to remember when on the show you came on at Black Business Women Rock.
Yes.
Was it on Saturday?
It was on Saturday, and I was part of the, I believe it was the first group of women that went. I had on the bright yellow pants and the black top and a mohawk. When I had hair, I cut off all my hair.
Yeah, what happened to the mohawk?
You know, I wanted something. I wanted to change it. I wanted to cut my hair off for a long time.
Yeah.
And, you know, just start over, grow it healthier and stuff like that. And I just wanted to change. I wanted a new look, and you know, I look young all the time. And so no matter what I do with my hair, but I wanted something more sleek and classy.
That's good.
Well, there you go.
Well, that was a great event.
And it accomplished that as well. You're very
you.
chic and classy.
Yes, definitely.
And it's so interesting that you said that. I attended, in between all the other stuff I did this so far this summer, I went to a conference on the East Coast called the Power Network Conference.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
yes.
So I'm going to tell you, next year,
I got to be there.
Get there, because it's unlike anything you've ever seen.
Awesome.
It's like walking into, if there was a real Wakanda, it's our Wakanda village.
Black empowerment.
Black
I love
empowerment,
it.
and oh my God! But one of the things when they do the opening ceremony, one of the individuals because they beat the drums when you come in, and people are wearing their African village colors and feeling all one with whom they are, right?
Yeah.
And it's like and you're in your African. Some of them are in it. So there's one guy who's always in his African clothing, because it's not even it's his uniform, and so he opens it with, "We are in a 4-day therapeutic healing session because we as Black people need help." And so he said, "So we're going to fuel you and we empower you, and we may talk a little hard with a little tough love, but we are going to heal you, people."
Yes.
So
Heal the heart. Heal the heart. That's my
heal the
specialty.
heart. So you would fit in perfectly.
Amen.
Because that's what we're talking about.
Awesome.
Because there has to be. We are very talented people.
Yes.
And we're very innovative.
Yes.
Right? And we can take and make something out of nothing.
Yes, we can.
But somewhere there's a disconnect with giving ourselves permission to be wealthy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And obviously it came from the many years of what happened to our ancestors.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
then now the ancestors and all the families still perpetuate the disease down the line, right?
Right.
So somewhere we have to give ourselves permission that it's okay to be successful.
Absolutely. It's just, like you said, Chris, it's about giving permission to be wealthy, giving permission to be valuable.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like you said, as far as ancestrally, from being, taken off the throne and thrown into the bottom of a boat and then to be brought over, if you made it, to be put on a block, to be treated like an animal, you've been diminished. Your value has been diminished and you don't know what's happening. And from that concept of feeling like you're no longer part of royalty, you're no longer valuable, and there's no one to save you from that because you're confused, you don't know where you are, you begin to internalize those things. And those psychological and things that get internalized, they become part of your DNA.
And then they start telling you that you're ugly, you're worthless, you're nothing.
And then we give that right back to our children's children's children because once someone has told you who you are and you believe it based off of their perception, okay, then what tends to happen is you begin to manifest that through everything that comes through you, because everything that comes through you don't feel that is valuable. So in business, and this a lot of times I talk to entrepreneurs who are afraid to put a value on their product, a value on themselves, and I would ask them, well, what do you think that you're worth? And I always hear this: I don't know. I don't know what I'm worth. Okay, so let me make sure. You don't know what you're worth starting at zero, or you're priceless.
So that means someone will come in and put a value on you.
Right. So you're opening yourself up to allow someone to place their opinions, their values on you. Then you take that on and then you say, okay, that's what I'm going to be. So from going to giving birth to children and then having to get right back in the field and having to pick that because, if I pick this really good, would you please give me some food?
Right.
And that now internalized where we as black women, what we tend to do is okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you a holy hookup. Dr. Cassandra Bradford said, give you the holy hookup. And, in turn, will you please refer me business? Not understanding that when you give yourself away the first time, you've already valued yourself as zero.
Right.
Exactly.
And so we need to be able to look at and understand our value system and how much we are valued.
That is powerful.
Yeah,
and it explains a lot, especially those of us that are coaching and consulting,
right?
Because you sometimes you just don't understand where the disconnect is, right?
Right.
And they have these great ideas, or they've been in business for a long time, and you're thinking, well, you should be much further along than you are. And I know I've had to turn people away from my classes because people, they will keep coming, and then I'll go, no, I have given you everything you need to execute.
Right.
So now the time limit is gone.
Right.
I need you to execute.
Exactly.
And then as you're in that, if I need to coach you to that next level, but I don't want you in any more of my classes.
Right. Right.
Because you've gotten the tools.
Right.
Now go use those tools.
Right.
Yeah.
And they are handicapped. They are at a point in their life where they are fearful.
Right.
And they don't understand that failing, and I know some people are going to miss me on this one, but it's okay to fail. It's actually good to fail. And it's going to sound crazy, I actually enjoy failing. Let me tell you why. Because when I fall forward, what I'm doing is I'm catching the lesson on the way down, going the direction of forward, not going in the direction of backwards. And, I talk to a lot of times in my mental health clients and with my business clients, think of it as when you're driving your car, you have this windshield, right? And then you have this little bitty window right at the top, right? And in this mirror, you can see the back, but it's really tiny. And then you got this windshield right in the front of you that's large, right? You can see everything. Right. At least you hope so, to see everything, So how do we drive? Do we drive looking out the windshield, or do we drive looking at the little bitty window and everything that passed us? Right. So when we look constantly looking at the past, when we're constantly looking at things that have passed us along and all the hurts and the pains and things that we can't get over, what tends to happen is we're crashing into walls that have us stuck to be able to move us into our purpose. Inability to live our destiny through our purpose. And so what ends up happening is when you look at your windshield, you see everything.
Right.
You see what's coming ahead. You can see the mountains. You can see beyond. And you have this creativity, just like you said, Crystal. It's the creativity of Black people that whatever that's behind that mountain, I'm going to create. I want to go see that. But if you are constantly looking in that rearview mirror, you'll never be able to get out of the little tiny little bitty box of your mind that keeps you, down.
You're right, exactly. And so you won't be able to create that success that you want so badly.
Absolutely.
And it's I was talking to someone about that yesterday, I think. One of the kids actually, we were talking, and so she was saying, I'm so fearful of the competition piece that they have to get up in front. And then this young lady is definitely an overachiever.
Right.
And as I was saying to Gilbert, she had gone through all of these math courses. And I looked at her, and then she had also taken a pattern class and learned how to make patterns. She was doing that on a college campus, and all the classmates were college age, high school age. I mean college age. And so I said, so I know that was much harder than this.
Right.
And she said, yeah, it was. I said, well, this is a piece of cake.
Absolutely.
So, and that's how I equate mine. What is the hardest thing that you've done in life? What is the most scariest thing you've done in life?
Absolutely.
And when you put it in the perspective for business,
Right.
If you've done that, nothing about business is scary.
No.
Even the failure side is good, especially as an entrepreneur. That's the only way you become better.
Absolutely.
Is to fail.
Absolutely. For all of us that are able to walk on two legs,
right?
You started by falling.
Yes.
You had to fall in order to know, okay, maybe don't step that way, or maybe not to lean that way. And, for us women that walk in our 3 and 5 and 6 inch heels, and some of us, got it going on with 10.
Right.
You had to learn, through stumbling. And,
right.
And we have to look at not failing in the sense of, oh, I did wrong, but that you at least got out there and you did it. When we get past the people that always tell us, don't do something, you won't be good at that, well, I wouldn't do this. You got to look at where that source is coming from. What have they done? Can they deposit this into your bank account? Can they give you something that you need? And then if everything that they're saying they haven't even tried, they're not pulling from anything, you can even ask them, well, what did you do in this situation? And they say, oh no, I'll never do that. Well, how can you determine what I can and cannot do?
They're not
based
a credible
off of what
source.
Absolutely.
Right,
so
exactly.
failing forward is an opportunity for you to be able to see what your accomplishments are. I tell people all the time, and those who have not ever heard my story, I went to, high school and I was barely making it. I was, I have a learning disability called expressive learning disorder with a slight form of dyslexia. And so through school, I was barely making it, but I was making it. I had a tutors from elementary school all the way, through high school. And I had a, social worker tell me, right, I'm a social worker.
Right.
I had a social worker pretty much tell me, Wendy, you're beautiful, but you're not that smart.
Whoa.
Social worker said that.
Yeah, social worker said that, and she was, African American, curvaceous with an afro. So you kind of see what that could have did to my self-esteem.
Oh,
right?
yeah, right.
So it's that generational curse that we pass that down, and so from that I was afraid to believe her, and I was afraid not to believe her. So I went ahead and tried anyway. And so my mother, she told me, she said, if you don't at least get out there and try, you'll never know.
That's true.
And so what ends up happening is I did everything that I thought I wanted to do, that I needed to do, and I desired to do. I didn't know if I was going to fail. I didn't know if I was going to succeed. But I didn't ever want to say, I had to try. I had to get out there just to see.
Yeah.
And I thank her for saying that, because it wouldn't prepare me to where I am today, from graduating, undergrad. No, I didn't graduate cum laude, but on my degree, you don't see grades.
Right, exactly. You're right. They don't give you grades. It's just a degree.
It's just a degree. I went to USC, and not that I got, in there because, I got a high GPA and all that. No, a friend of mine had to talk to someone who knew the assistant dean, and she had a conversation with me. She said, I'm going to give you an opportunity to see if you can do this. And I excelled the first semester. She said, I'm going to get you a tutor. I'm going to get you tested. You will graduate with this master's degree. And I did. I graduated with this master's degree. I graduated with tutors. I graduated staying up all night and things like that. But I did it.
Good.
I did it. And the same university that gave me an opportunity, I ended up teaching for, becoming a professor at USC. And here is a woman that told me I couldn't do it.
Yes.
And now I'm back getting my doctorate degree at the same university that gave me an opportunity.
Wow.
So
In your face.
in your face, mic drop. Absolutely,
Right,
you know.
exactly.
So
And that's that way, again, of diminishing us.
Right.
From being who we are.
Yeah.
Because innately, it's already in our DNA
Yeah.
to be great.
Right.
But there's always that outside people that are so afraid of us
Absolutely.
reaching to our highest.
Yes.
Because if we get to our highest,
Right.
it's going to look like that Wakanda movie.
Exactly.
That's what it's going to look
Yeah,
like.
exa-
And so
exactly.
right now, I think they're so fearful of that.
Yeah.
Because again, we start with deficits.
right.
Yeah.
And we still manage to overcome
Absolutely.
the deficits, right?
Absolutely.
To become the best of the best of the best.
You know,
Absolutely.
somebody said this the other day, and I thought about it. I said, you know, this is true. They said the white man, they started with a 400-year head start.
Yep.
400-year head start. So they should be successful,
All of them.
all of them. For a lot of
Got
us
nice.
who started behind,
Yeah.
we're pulling through, we're getting there.
Right.
But we
You see what
started
I'm saying?
with nothing.
Yeah.
We
400 years.
Yeah,
Right.
we started with some dirt
Right.
Yeah.
and some raggedy shoes and
Yes.
some pants that they gave us once
So
a year.
There you
if
go.
we can do that, then a lot more of us can do it.
Right,
Exactly. Because, like you said, it's a part of who we are. It's a part of our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And when we know, who we are as a people, and that we invented math, we invented science, we built things, we cultivate technology. This is who we are.
We had a list. We had a
right.
list on the show of all the black inventors who invented things.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Phenomenal.
absolutely.
And a lot of people don't even know it. We need to
Right.
do that show
Yeah.
again.
In
Yeah.
fact, that's one of the things that we're talking with when we're talking about our entrepreneurial club. That for our children,
Yeah.
they need to know where we came from because they
Right.
don't get that education in
Right.
school, and sometimes their parents don't know it
Right.
either, and so they don't understand the greatness that,
Right.
that they're coming from.
Absolutely.
And I think that needs to be whether a podcast somebody's doing,
Right.
Well, that you for the whole hour. That's all you're talking about is
Yeah.
all the little things that we've done.
Yeah.
Right.
We had I had a guy on the show here, and I was blown away because I think I'm pretty good at I can collect data in my little data bank, so I have a whole bunch of stuff stored up in my computer. But this man came on. He was actually a white guy, and he's writing a movie, and he was looking to get funded for the movie
Right.
of a young lady who her name is Mary Elizabeth Bowser.
Okay.
And Mary was she was a slave, and she had the ability to. She's photogenic and autogenic. She could remember everything that she read, and so her slave master, owner of her parents, when he died, the daughter of that slave plantation owner. He freed them. She used his inheritance and freed all the slaves that were that was on the thing. And then she was an abolitionist. So then she recognized that Mary had this talent. So they put her as a dim-witted. She played a dim-witted slave housekeeper in the house in Jefferson Davis's mansion, and she collected everything and the documents.
Right.
And then she was the one that was relaying this information to Harriet Tubman. And
Absolutely.
she's actually the reason that we were free.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
the underground, because that's how they got the information. And they kept going, how are they knowing what we're doing? How do they know where the battles were? How did they know? Because she was there, and they didn't think, they don't think that she was smart.
Exactly.
And that
They
she had
underestimated.
underestimated her.
And that shows is we as a people, you don't do this alone. I tell
No.
entrepreneurs this a lot of times.
Right.
You don't do this alone.
That's right.
Both of them came together and understood that in order for us to do anything, in order for us to get out of this situation, we need to be able to come together. And I strongly believe that the black community needs to stop trying, because try is a premeditated lie.
Right.
All day long. And that we need to stop trying, and that we need to just start doing. See, didn't try to give her the information. She didn't try to remember the information. What she did was she remembered the information.
Right.
She relayed the information. She didn't try to do it because we would still be there.
Right, exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So we need to get into the business of doing and not in the business of just talking.
Yeah.
And we need to show who we are and know who we are and understand that we don't have to put a low price. You know, especially with entrepreneurs and business owners, you don't have to start at a cheap rate. You know, just let me just say this really quickly. I love my red bottom shoes. I do. And my husband bought me the shoes. I didn't purchase them. But my thing is this. Is the paint on the bottom of the shoe made of gold? Is the ingredients made of gold, or is it just paint? See, it's not the paint that made it valuable. It's the person who created the brand. And once you know who you are and you are your brand, and once you know your value and you don't make any excuse for it, people will pay.
Right.
But if you're always trying to give the holy hookup and pray for that, client, or will you please come to my store type of mentality, you'll never get there because we'll always ask for discounts. And so we need to be able to push forward and know that, if it wasn't for these two women that stood up together and said, we are more. My family is more, my children are more, and the people that look like me with my skin color are more than, because that's not where we came from. We came from royalty, we came from richness, we came from intelligence, that we need to be freed so we can get what we solely deserve, whether if it's here on this soil or whether if it's back at home.
You said a lot of great things just now, and the one that stood out for me is what you said. The red bottom shoe.
Yeah.
You didn't say what they call it.
Right.
The red bottom shoe. And we all know what it is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's amazing. That's powerful right there.
Yeah.
That is powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And knowing that we do, and what you're saying as far as the value of putting a price tag on us. So yesterday, when the kids were getting money from all kinds of sources, right? So we had gone over a little bit of time. So one of the little girls said, I think we should get paid for our overtime now. Oh, really? And she goes, and I said, and how much do you think that's worth? She goes, I'd say $50. I said, then I think you guys should pay me $300 for my overtime. And she was like, what? I said, yeah, because that's my value.
Oh, right. Exactly.
And she just laughed. But even teaching our children the value.
Yes.
And that's why these programs or the classes that I'm doing is so important.
Absolutely.
Because it's all about, what is the business model?
Right.
How are you going to get paid?
Right.
And then when they, and children, and it's coming from their parents.
Right.
Because children are like, I'm creating this business because it's cheap, and the people, or I'm doing a video game that's cheaper than what's sold, and then that way everybody can afford it. So by day 3, the kids were going, if you're charging $5, but you're paying $300, where you gonna make money?
Right.
So
they actually said that.
Yes.
That's
Good.
great.
Right.
Good.
And so one little girl, she wanted to do trendy clothing at a cheaper price, and I kept telling them, don't use the word cheap, because
Please
that has the wrong
Connotation, right.
You want more affordable. I said, but if you want me to be able to have Gucci taste, but buy it at a discounted rate. But again, you got to figure out a creative way to go get that Gucci taste at a very discounted rate.
Right.
So then you can sell it to make a profit.
Right. Absolutely.
And so it's not for everybody. And so because they always think it's everybody, right? No. If you're going to spend, so I told her, I said, so here's what I need you to do. Go show me the Gucci bag that you're talking about. And so she did. It was like $1,600.
Yeah.
I said, so are you going to pay them $1,600? I said, how much would you sell it? She goes, well, you're going to get it for half the price. I said, but how much are you going to pay for it?
There you go.
Because if you're going to pay $1,600 for it, you cannot give it to anybody for half the price.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're definitely being the red. We're always discounting it ourselves.
That's
we
right.
As an author, as a coach, as a therapist, if you don't put the money into you. If you don't put the money into your education, and it does not always have to be on a campus.
No.
Let me say that. I know I love education. I have 3 degrees, got that all day long. That's fine. But what we need to understand is that education is everywhere.
Yeah.
And a lot of successful people have started with education, just reading, getting in the room with coaches, being around people that are doing more than you. If there's a person out there that you know, I want to be that person, I want to go there, then you have to understand that, one, it's not going to be for free. Okay, and that person's labor and time and their investment in their education. If they pay $250,000 for their education, they're not going to charge you $50 for coaching.
No. No.
Okay, I don't even know the percentage of how small that is. I mean, talk about a serious negative percentage, right?
Right.
They're not going to be able to do that. It doesn't fathom in their head. And then it's insulting for you to even ask for them to do that.
Right.
So you're telling me your $250,000 education is only worth $50 to me? Then why don't we do this? We'll get you somewhere where you can be able to uplift your value and say that you're going to be able to pay, you know, what you need to pay. You know, my doctoral program is a 2-year program. It's $136,000 when I'm done with everything. I am not going to be charging $50 for coaching
you're not.
and for consulting and all of that. Not that I just want to be able to pay the loan back, is because the education being executed is 10 times more valuable now that it's out there. I am your walking advertisement. So, you know, we have to see each other as value. And when we ask people to discount themselves by discounting their product is who they are.
Very
Then
powerfully
you are being rude. That's disrespectful, and you don't understand your value. So that's why you don't pay for it.
Right, exactly.
Very powerfully
and
said.
you wouldn't go get those red bottom shoes and ask the
You
person,
wouldn't even dare.
right? Can I have this for no?
I don't even think they do sales, but I don't know.
Right, exactly. But you wouldn't even go up and ask them that.
Right, because they put so much value into that brand.
Right.
They put so much emphasis that this brand makes, you know, it will create a better you. And you know, people will see you at a certain status, right? So if that's what you want, and you want people to believe you to be at a certain level, then that's what you pay for. Cars, houses, all those things. But when you take away the red bottoms, when you take away the big house, when you take away the big car, are you just as valuable or even more than the things that you have? Because things can be replaced, but you can't. And that's value.
That's true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and take a break. We're at the top of the hour. These are real powerful words. And you're listening to the Business Zone, and we've got so much more to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the SMART goals, and I think I just figured out how it ties in.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about that.
So we'll be right back in 2 minutes, and we'll be talking some more about this amazing thing from our special guest on the show. Take a break.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Excellent. Are you contract ready? Are you bank loan ready? So I want to know how business ready you guys are. Part of what we want to do is to match you up with contract providers in Vegas, the casinos.
We put together this training for the contractors in Las Vegas to assist them in becoming business ready.
You know, when you first start a small business, the thing you're the shortest on is resources. So the association is actually providing the training free.
Now, Buchanan Associates, they're very well known throughout the U.S., mainly out of the California region, but they have produced so many successful companies that we felt if we brought them here to train our people, that it would allow for that growth because we have so many public works type projects, stadiums that are going to be built slated between now and the next 2 years, prepared to be able to do that work.
Are you contract ready? Are you bank loan ready? So I want to know how business ready you guys are. Part of what we want to do is to match you up with contract providers in Vegas, the casinos.
We put together this training for the contractors in Las Vegas to assist them in becoming business ready.
You know, when you first start a small business, the thing you're the shortest on is resources. So the association is actually providing the training free.
Now, Buchanan Associates, they're very well known throughout the U.S., mainly out of the California region, but they have produced so many successful companies that we felt if we brought them here to train our people, that it would allow for that growth because we have so many public works type projects, stadiums that are going to be built slated between now and the next 2 years, prepared to be able to do that work.
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Krista
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic, and our very, 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 very special guest in the studio, Miss Wendy Talley.
Yeah. So
Go ahead, Crystal. Go ahead.
SMART goals.
Yes.
So when did you incorporate that, and how did you incorporate that? And I think I know why, but you tell me why.
Well, SMART goals is something that has been around, since I believe when Dr. Gordon brought this out in Business Journal, since I think it was 1991 when he did that, and those of you can help me with the date. But, he was looking at it more for businesses, entrepreneurs to be, for project management. And so we in mental health, we adopted SMART goals, and in order to create effective treatment planning, because we saw that it was a smoother, easier transition to be able to look at what it is that folks need to be able to manage their mental health. And so I began to use that more often. Well, when I got into business, I found that in order for me to be able to start my business and do the things that I needed to do, I needed a plan. Well, I was using SMART goals because that was the one thing that I knew how to do and where it came from. And it has been so effective that I was able to complete goals at an easier and faster rate. And it was just absolutely amazing. And so because I was using it often, and I'm a teacher at heart, I love to be able to teach people. I said, well, you know what? Instead of killing a lot of trees and printing out all this paperwork and creating, why don't you just create a book that you can carry around and use, and then you'll have all of your notes, all of your ideas in a book, right? And so I did that, but I told you about, my learning disability earlier, and, my self-esteem was, being impacted by that. And it took me 2 years to write a 45-page workbook because, one, I didn't believe I can do it. Two, I was, still struggling. I'm human.
How long did it take?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
That's not bad. We've got other people do longer than that.
And that is true. But I felt, it was more about my self-esteem. Being able to sit down and actually do it. And I wasn't hanging around, authors. I didn't know any authors to even have that push. I believe in teamwork. I believe in feeding off of positive energy of other people that are authors. So if you're a business owner, I want to hang out with you. If you're an author, I want to hang out with you. And so I didn't have that. And once people around me began to write their books and doing well, I started to ask them questions. And so as it got closer and closer for them exploding in their business as being an author, I began to sit down and say, okay, you're going to do this. It's okay to get a ghostwriter. It's okay to get an editor. It's okay, Wendy. It's okay. That's why they have those people into that position. And so I did it. I launched it. I became an author April of 2018.
Well,
First time.
All right, congratulations. Yeah.
So I'm just so excited about what God is doing. And so with that, I'm able now to teach individuals and groups and classrooms with an actual manual they can take with them. It's colorful, it's fun, great pictures. It has step-by-step instructions to be able to. Is it published yet? It is published. It's on Amazon.
All right.
Yes.
And what is it called? What is it called? What is the title?
It's called SMART Goal and Time Management Workbook by Wendy Talley. Yes. So I'm officially an author. And
so you left off the doctor off that, huh?
Well, I have not finished.
She's working on
I'm a doctoral candidate. You can't call me that yet.
Doctor to be.
Yes, exactly. Oh, all the other books after that will definitely have Dr. Wendy Talley. I earned that.
That's right.
Absolutely. But you know what? It is just an actual big accomplishment.
That's great.
And I'm just excited. And more businesses are, looking for me to assist them to use something so strategic and simple. Let's start out simple. And then as you grow and you climb the ladder, then, you will get people that can take you to the next level. I'll get you going, and then I'll move you on to someone that can take you the rest of the way.
And I think that's important. So Gilbert and I, I congratulate you because again we've been working on the book, right? And so and I was when I was at this conference, this young lady says you don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about it. She goes, I'm gonna tell you how to get a book real quick, fast, and hurry. She goes, you have a cell phone. Right. Video record yourself. Yes. Send it to Fiverr and let them transcribe it. Yes. And then send it over to Fiverr back for them to edit it. Yes. And then upload it to Create Space. You got a book in 90 days.
That's literally.
Right. So now in this 30 days that I have between now and when I start my next
60
contract,
more days to go.
I am going to write my book.
Absolutely.
And it don't have to be big.
That's right.
But just to say, I got the book. Because it's always like, okay, I got this information, I got this information, I got this information. Which one do I put in there?
Exactly.
Right? But if you talking it, I'll just keep regurgitating it and let somebody transcribe it.
Absolutely.
And then get it to edit it and make sure it's right. So I think we put a lot of time in the prep and not a lot of time in the execution.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And so that's what you were saying. Stop talking about it. Just do it. So I commend you.
Don't try it. Just do it.
Exactly. Don't lie to yourself and say you're going to try to write a book.
Yeah.
Just write the book.
Write a book. And it's so important to write goals.
Yes.
I mean, so many of our business owners don't.
Right.
And if you don't have something to outcome and a measure.
Yes.
To measure your success.
Right.
That at the beginning of this year,
right.
at the end of this year, this is what I wanted to have accomplished.
Right.
So that keeps you on track, right?
Absolutely. Actually, those we call them measurable indicators when I talk to a lot of my clients. Those that where they ask, you write down your specific goal, but that measure is your preparation and planning phase, the formula of success. You made your decision, and now you're in the preparation and your planning phase. So that decision is that specific. So your measurable and your measurable indicators, what they are, they're mini goals for the bigger goal. Right? So just give you an example. Like I said, I went to school and all of that. But see, how I knew I was on the way to graduate was every time I got anything above a C.
Okay.
Right? So anytime I got a B on an exam, a B on a paper, that was my measurable indicator that I've completed step 1, 2, 3, 4. That means I'm getting closer and closer to graduation. So when we can break it down into small, minute, microcosm goals, and we don't have to say, oh my God, I'm going to graduate in 4 years and 2 years. No. You are going to graduate every 3 months.
Right.
So at the end of 3 months, when you've completed 2 classes, check.
Right.
Now you're one now semester, you're one now quarter down from graduation. Don't make it this huge where you're so frightened.
Right.
So the small measurable indicators are the mini goals to your big goal. And so as you're checking off that list, then you can look at what is it that I need, why am I doing it, and what kind of time frame. And anybody who's ever been coached by me, I'm big on time. I don't let any goal go past 30 days.
That's actually excellent because I know in the therapeutic world there are people that if they've been in therapy too long, they've learned how to manipulate the therapist and the therapy.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And they're not, and then there's no longer any progression.
Right.
Because they're using all their talent to make sure on the backside of it, this ain't going to happen.
Right. Absolutely. You got to be careful in that. In my private practice, I always tell, my therapists, how long do they plan on staying in, in therapy? What is our time frame for them? And, what are our measurable indicators as they're going along? And then, as long as we can assess them through the process, and we use SMART goals with them as well, as long as we can say, okay, this is where you started, this is where you are, this is where you started, this is where you are. So every step, we're reassessing that process. So we're constantly talking to them about from the first day they do the intake, when you plan on terminating.
Right.
Because if you have to understand that you got to be able to go out and do this on your own. If you stay with me, you will become a manipulator. So I'll never forget one client. He was with me for about 6 months, and I kept assessing. And when I kept hearing themes that were the same. Okay, now we've gotten to the point where we need to just, titrate it. So from weekly to bi-weekly to monthly. And then I've noticed that he just wanted to come just because. Well, I realized he was just paying me to have a conversation because he didn't have, I felt like an escort service. But I don't know if I'm a high price. Anyway, so, right. But, and I said, okay, and I had to be transparent. This is where we are right now. And I believe, and I told him, correct me if I'm wrong, you're paying me now to converse with you. You're no longer paying me now to move you into your next direction because, there's nothing else as far as this list of things that we should work on. And, he got quiet. And I said, what we're going to do, we're going to terminate. We're going to terminate. And, don't ever take advantage of that process, because therapy, I think all of us need therapy. Like all of us need a car. All of us need some shoes.
Right.
All of us need a pair of socks. All of us need therapy. And, just somebody that you can just do a tune-up. You don't have to have a diagnosis of a mental illness in order to see a therapist. You can see a therapist to maybe, brainstorm some ideas. You got a crisis, a death in the family. You're having stress at work. Whatever it is. Put me in the back of your pocket, that emergency, or break the glass and come in, because we're just as valuable as that medical doctor that you're going to follow up with for your physical, for whatever it is, your medication. We are just as valuable, because remember this, if you're not taking care of your brain, then your body won't function. Because it's the brain that functions everything.
Amazing.
Right, and being able to go in for that tune-up from
is
exceptional.
With that being said, Dr. ALBD, all but dissertation.
Yeah.
Those are real powerful information.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with our small business audience out there? For example, the name of your book again.
Yes.
And how they can get a hold of you.
Absolutely. So you can go on to Amazon and get my book, S.M.A.R.T Goal Time Management, or you can just type in my name in the search box, Wendy Talley, Talley. It's the first one that come up because it's a bestseller, so it comes at the top.
There you go.
So you get that book, and it's an investment. It's not a cost. It's an investment because if you want to get your business done right, you want to do that.
Yeah.
You can reach me on Facebook at Wendy Talley, LCSW, on Instagram, Wendy Talley, Wendy_Talley_LCSW. Hit me up. Ask any questions you want. Follow me because there's some many things I'm going to be doing in the future, and it's going to be exciting.
That is great.
We're definitely going to stay up. We're going to keep in touch.
Yes.
And we want you to make sure you let us know anytime there's a new change. We'll bring you back when you're Dr. Talley.
Oh yeah.
I'm a have on that Trojan.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We want to ring it out, Dr. Talley.
Yes.
And I'm an alum. I did my entrepreneurial program over at SC. Love SC.
Yes. That entrepreneur is a great entrepreneur program.
Yeah.
It's pulling out some major folks over there. So.
Well, just so you know, that program, we're now teaming up with them with our program here. So this is going to be a part of that program, the Marshall School of Management.
Yes.
That's it. Professor Kimberly Rolfe.
Yes.
I'm working with her.
She's
so
awesome.
Small Biz Pro is going to be a part of that program.
Awesome.
So
Actually, if you need me to do a class, let me know.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love it.
We're looking forward to it. So thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you so much. We enjoyed the interview, and we'll be keeping tabs on you.
Please do.
Yes.
Looking for all the new exciting things.
Oh, yes, for sure. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break now.
We can take our picture.
Yes, so we can take our celebrity picture, and we'll bring our next guest.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. Take a break.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Excellent. Are you contract ready? Are you bank loan ready? So I want to know how business ready you guys are. Part of what we want to do is to match you up with contract providers in Vegas, the casinos.
We put together this training for the contractors in Las Vegas to assist them in becoming business ready.
When you first start a small business, the thing you're the shortest on is resources. So the association is actually providing the training free.
Now, Buchanan Associates, they're very well known throughout the U.S., mainly out of the California region, but they have produced so many successful companies that we felt if we brought them here to train our people, that it would allow for that growth, because we have so many public works type projects, stadiums that are going to be built, slated between now and the next 2 years, prepared to be able to do that work.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance...
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Crystal.
and Gilbert Buchanan, your smart business paramedic.
You're smart, not small. You're a smart businessman, but you are smart.
See, doctor, see what you did to me? Now you're making me use a smart thing, which is a good thing. At least we're not trying, right?
So
and Crystal, who do we
have
in the
another
studio?
dynamic woman in the studio. You know what, Gilbert?
Yes.
So we have had. I was putting together a photo collage of all of our guests, and we have far more women. Dynamic women in the studio.
True.
So we need you to go out and find some of your dynamic men.
Well, you know,
we got only a handful.
Well, you know my thing. My thing is my favorite customers are women. So I don't mind having.
I guess that's gonna be up to me to go out and find them up, because I'm gonna tell them like I told my kids last week. It's like, God, dudes, the girls are wiping you up here. You're gonna have to do something. But we have Miss Michelle Collins. She's a speaker. She's an author. She's a mentor. She's an ambassador for the LA Sparks. She has just been recognized by the city of Los Angeles for her dedicated service in the community.
All right.
She's written work featured on Maria Shriver's Architect of Change. This lady is doing it out here. And so we're so happy. And she's the author of a book called Spirit Check. And it's a practical solution for emotional mastery.
Yes.
So we are so happy to have you here.
Welcome to the Business Zone.
And that's a great title, actually.
Yeah, Spirit Check.
Being able to check our emotions and then at the same time
so important
mastery, because we don't talk about that.
No,
right?
we don't.
No, we just act sometimes like we're machines until we fall apart.
Right.
And then we ask the question, what happened?
Yes,
I'll tell you what happened. You didn't check in with you.
That's right.
What happened.
Yeah, and that's very, very important.
Because we know how to check other people, right?
Oh, yeah.
we do.
Oh, yeah. We do that very well.
And often.
Yes, often. But we do not check ourselves to make sure, because and this is one of the things I find in the type of business that I do, the type of coaching and consulting, you absorb a lot of everybody else's energy.
You do.
And then they become very dependent on you, right?
Yes.
And so they're always pulling and pulling. And they never think you're supposed to have any downtime.
Right.
And they get a little insulted if you say, look, I'm taking time for me.
Exactly.
And then you're like, wait a minute, it's my time. I can do what I want with it. But so this is good. So tell us about yourself. And so you are operating in faith and spirituality, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's different from being religious.
Absolutely. That is different from being traditional.
Okay.
I think that's a foundation for anybody, but at a certain point you have to make it personal. And that's where relationship comes into it.
Okay.
You and the Creator, you and God.
You and God. Okay. So are you part of it? Did you start out traditional?
I did start out traditional.
Okay.
I did at a very young age.
Tell me the journey.
Oh my goodness, we don't have time.
And how we got to this platform of this being your message, and how you do the outreach, and how you bring people into Spiritual Check.
Okay, well, everybody's going to learn today. Okay. So a little bit more about me. But my parents became pastors when I was 11 years old. And I told them my life is ruined because one thing I did not want to be was a PK. Oh, they were serving in the capacity but not appointed officially. So I had a glimpse of what was going to happen. And I was like, I want no part of it. So that didn't happen, and my life was not not ruined. So, you know, I'm fine. But it was definitely a journey. One of the things that I really appreciate my mom and dad for is they saw my potential at an early age and they were on it. So they didn't really just speak it to me, but they put me in position. So one of the things they did when I was 13, I was the youth leader. So here I am in high school and I am creating weekly services.
Oh, wow.
For, you know, my youth group, which was like my cousins. But it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. I mean, we were a small group.
That's harder to lead.
You
family.
are so right, because they tend to be familiar, right? And so you have to learn how to transition from familiarity to respect, which is a whole other thing. And so I really attribute my parents really tapping into my leadership skills for that. They never really had to follow up with me. God downloaded creativity in me, and I was able to do that on a weekly basis all the way until I was about 18 years old. So that's what I did, and that really set a couple platforms. One was my love for young people. And so now I'm just 19 now. So, you know, I'm not 19. I mean, but what my point is, one of the platforms it set was for me to be a mentor, which I am today. So a lot of people don't know that, yes, I did start in a house of worship, but at 13 years old. So what I'm doing today, I've been doing for quite a long time, and I'm so grateful for it. And another thing that it did was it definitely helped my speaking platform that I have. So my first crowd was a crowd of 500 when I was 18. Wow. And can I tell you that I was so nervous? I remember my tongue sticking to the roof of my mouth, and it was bad. And I had to like push through it, because you already there. You know, you gotta push through it and show up. And so here I am today, still speaking, and I've always wanted to be an author and add that to my bio. But what I did was I was a journaler, so I always journaled, and that just transitioned into my workbooks and also my spirit check book today. So that's kind of a little bit about my journey.
Okay, that's fantastic.
That's
Cosette
amazing.
says hello.
I love Cosette. Yes, I do.
Yes, she
love
says hello, and she says hello to you as
Hey,
well.
Cosette, how are you?
That's mentoring children. And I see here you're the director of a program called the Persona Program.
Correct.
I think that is the greatest part of who I am, is the mentoring of young people and shaping young people. And I've done that young as you, not as young as 13, but I started in Girl Scouts when I was 17 as a leader. And then it went on, and I became a race ski coach. And then now I'm involved in tennis, and now I'm doing the educational entrepreneurial piece for kids. But I think that's the greatest. On my epitaph, that's what I want there, even though I teach adults and everything, but it's the lasting impact that you leave on a child. And when you hear them, something that you've taught them, they regurgitate it to you, and you also see it in their persona.
Yes.
I think there is no bigger compliment than
That's
that.
why I'm here today.
Yeah.
I always said that if I mess up, it's my fault. I had so many people around me that I deemed as mentors and that were inspirational people that could speak into my life. And so I know that was a blessing for me, but that doesn't mean you still go down the path that you're supposed to. But at least I had that. And I do know so many other people, they didn't have that kind of a support. So I'm definitely one that believes that you pour into our young people, because I am a product of people who definitely took the time. And now that I'm an adult and, they're older, and I go back and I remember little memories or moments, and they're like, wow, Michelle, you remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, because it impacted me.
Oh, yeah.
And so it is my privilege and my honor to do that for this generation. They are in need of so much. Times are different. Society is different. They are faced with so many things. Social media, that's a whole other, workshop in and of itself, but so much going on with our young girls and our young boys. And so through the Persona program, I always think of it as we're like a drop in the bucket, but it's an important impact that we're still making. So we service girls 7 through 18 years old, and we have 3 pillars. We are building confidence, developing character, and promoting proper conduct. And I have 2 teen daughters. Destiny, shout out to my daughters. Destiny is 17 and Charisma is 13.
Okay.
And between them and their friends, I have all the material, let me tell you, that I need. So this is like live mentorship, because I'm also mom. So I'm not just going by head knowledge, but it's like happening in my living room, if I can be transparent, you know.
Right, exactly.
I see it on their phones, because I'm one of those helicopter moms, like,
as you have to be in today's
give me your
world.
phone. Why? Because I want to see what's going on.
Right,
and oh, really? This happened. So tell me more. Because our youth spend a lot of time looking down on their devices.
Right.
And like I tell them, it's not that something's wrong with the device, it's whose hand it's in that makes it a problem, you know. And so we have all these cyber bullying and things like that. It's just so much going on. I remember there was a friend of my daughter's that someone had created an account against her on Instagram, and it was all about, it was her pictures, and everybody was just making negative comments. And I told my daughter, is her mom aware of this happening? And my daughter was like, I don't think so, and I don't know who made that account. And so I took it upon myself, because I'm a mom and I felt that. And I called that mother. I said, listen, I don't know if you know, but there is an account out there that's been created on Instagram, and it's all negativity about your daughter, and your daughter is commenting back. And, you know, thankfully, that was shut down, but we have cases where it's not, and our kids are committing suicide for instances and scenarios like that. So it's just really important that we, you know, hold our girls and our young boys' head up from those devices and from the distractions and just the different things that they're facing, and letting them know that you have potential to be anything that you want to be. But here are some tools, here are some resources, and so that's what we do.
And it's interesting you said that, because I was mentioning, and I don't know if you heard me when we were talking in the dialogue, when the kids were creating their business ideas at the camp this summer, this last group, there were 5 of them that created businesses to deal with teen stress and anxiety. Yeah. And so when they were presenting to me, I'm going, there's a theme happening here.
Right.
So I asked them, I was like, okay, guys, I have to stop right now. And I have to find out what's happening here.
Right.
And so the age group between the youngest child was actually 10. He was soon to be 11, but he was 10. And the oldest one was 17. So that's a wide gap, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was asking, I said, we're going to take out a moment, and I need to find out what is stressing you guys. So each one of them, I let them all have, and that's 25 kids. And so I literally had 3 columns of circumstances. So it was stress about maintaining grades, stress about performing, stress with their athletics, stress and anxiety.
Are you in my house? Like, it's in every house.
It's right. It's in every. And so this is across the board.
Correct.
And then this was both Latino and Black.
Right.
And so I'm like, whoa. And I said, I want to share something with you guys. Now, I'm quite a bit older than you are. But when I was your age, and that could be from the 10 years old to all the way up to the 17, I was in bed by the time we were not, by the time I was high, but by at 10 and 11, I was in bed by 7:30 and 8 o'clock. Obviously, and then by the time I was in high school, it was 9 and 10 and then 11. And when I was 11th grade, I was going to bed at 11 o'clock. And the telephoning was regulated.
Correct.
We could not have phone calls and be on the phone until homework was done. Homework had to be done as soon as we came in. We were blessed that my mom was she worked her schedule, so we were at home. She was at home when we got there. Yeah. We had to do chores. We had to learn in the summertime, we had to learn how to sew. We had to learn how to iron. We had to learn how to cook. And all of these were actual, not happenstance. No. Today we're learning how to sew. You do not go out the house until we make this roller bag or pajama bag.
Love it.
And so consequently, the stress was making sure we weren't getting in trouble. That's the only stress that we dealt with, is that we didn't piss her off and she was ready to beat us to death.
Yeah.
That was the only stress. But I told him, I said, do you guys think that because your head is in that phone all the time, that is creating some of your stress? I said, and also the boys, you guys play games 24/7. And those games are very, there are a lot of hyperactivity that goes along with it. You're shooting, you're killing, you're strategizing. Your brain is always working. I said, some of the stress is happening is self-induced.
Absolutely.
And you guys need to step away. And so we actually took their phones a couple of times in class. And after the first initial takeaway, they're like, they didn't think about it because we were doing so many other activities and stuff.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you would think they would be going, I want my phone back. We gave it back to them. They were picking it out the bag as they walked out the door to go home. And they were in class from 9 in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, we have to go back to regulating. We have to go back to intentional parenting, present parenting.
Present.
I think one of the things that has happened through the generations is not only are our children stressed out, but we as parents and adults are stressed out as well.
Right.
So when we come into our four walls of the home that should be a home, we're still going because our brains are going from the meeting and from signing contracts and deals and, trying to make it home safely as a black man and a young black girl, whatever the case may be. It's just, there's a lot of stress going on. And we turn on the news. We don't like our president.
Right, exactly.
We got things to say. We're in disagreement with our leader. And also the institutions have failed us.
Yes.
I believe that.
Yes, they have.
The government has failed us. The church has failed us.
Well, it's designed that way.
The school system has failed us.
Yeah.
So when everything that we once were able to depend on fail, where do we turn? We turn inward trying to figure it out. And sometimes the answers and the solutions we can't find. So we make them up.
And it creates hopelessness.
So the village is all broken.
Right.
It's like little. We need therapy. We need therapy. First of all, we have to assess, because that's what I talk about when I talk about checking in.
Right.
You have to assess what is going on with you. And it's different for me than it is for you, even if we're facing the same circumstance. And so that's what I talk about when I mean by intentional and present parenting, because I have 3 children total, but I have to parent each of them as an individual and differently. My approach has to be different based on each personality, so I can make sure I'm making that impact and I'm getting that obedience. Because nobody's going out getting switches anymore. In case in case I don't know, maybe a few people. But my point
is, as a pastor of mine used to say, pull down the shades, do what you got to do, Mom and Dad. Then, if there's a few little marks, keep them home from school, homeschool them, and then send them back out there. But your job is to make sure.
Okay, she just told y'all the process. I didn't say that.
That's what my pastor told me. So I'm just repeating what he told me. But exactly, I saw a post on Facebook a couple weeks ago, and it said, parenting, and I'm not a parent, but I've raised, been a part of over 200-300 children over my lifetime. But it said parenting is a 7-day-a-week, 24-hour-a-day, 365-day-a-year job.
Correct.
You cannot parent for an hour and take off 23 hours. Parenting is, if you choose to have children, parenting is a lifelong process.
And I'm still learning how to be a good mom. I'm still learning with my oldest being 17. And so that is where, everyone, faith comes in. Because when I'm apart from them physically, my prayer can reach them. My desire, I send it up to God, and I'm like, God, you know where they are, mind, body, soul, and spirit. You can reach them where I can't. Make them ready for me when I see see them. You
Right,
know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Tone down the attitude. Let them open up so we can communicate and move forward as a family that you have destined for us to be. And so that's why faith is so important. You have to connect with God to get into those areas that are out of your reach
Right.
as a human being.
Right. And
It's,
and as parents today, you guys don't have, like our parents, you had a village.
Correct.
You had your mom, your grandmom, your and the aunties, and the whole entire little community was right there, right? You guys are kind of out here on your own as parents. So unless you have them in programs and the person that is working with them takes on that external outside mom role to help you. I know when I was working with children, parents used to say, Crystal, I would never have made it through their adolescence without you.
Wow.
Because I was still close enough to their age, they could confide in me.
Right.
And so when we would go up to the mountains, they were with me for the entire weekend. So the girls would be in the background, in the back of the car talking. So we always made sure we're the ones that's driving, right?
Yeah.
So they're out sharing and they've had a good time. So if I heard any triggers that I knew that I could address, but then further take it to the parent.
Right.
That you need to be aware.
That is such an important piece, because I think what is happening now, there's a breakdown. Like I told you, a lot of things have failed us, including the village has failed us.
Right, exactly.
And so instead of taking it to the parent, we have people that want to keep it because they don't know what kind of reception they're going to receive when they say, I just want to make you aware that X, Y, and Z is happening with your child. Thank God for that mom, for example. We were friends, so she was able to receive that from me. But any other mother, why you telling me? I got that. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, because because they're just as they can be just as violent as their children.
Absolutely.
And then you understand where it's coming from.
Where it's coming from. You have children that are misbehaving, and the parents are, and the teachers trying to do, and shout out to our teachers, that are trying to do it. And you have parents that instead are going up to schools and in meetings trying to listen and work as a team. They're going up there fighting like, I know my child didn't do that. How do you know your child is not different outside of your presence?
Right.
We all did a little something different out of
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just trying to test waters. And some of our children aren't testing. They are.
They are.
They are
doing it. And so for parents to put the blinders on and
it's
thinking,
not helping.
And when you work with kids, so this last couple of weeks, there's some kids, they come back like they're the innocent one, and you're like, oh, no, you're not. I got interns. They got eyes. And they see that you're some of the reason. Then they come, he hurt me. What were you doing? Why were you even in there? And we got on the phone and called parents. And next day, kids were doing, because what we did in our program was, before the class starts, we have an orientation. It's an hour and a half long. And all we talk about is rules, regulations, and expectations that we're expecting. That the parents will be called. And if there's any problem with that, this probably is not the program for you.
Absolutely.
Because we're here. We got 3 weeks to do what we need to do.
And you're trying to have peace in your life.
In my life.
In your program.
In my program.
I hear you.
And I'm an entrepreneur for a reason.
Yes.
I don't like being up at 6 o'clock in the morning to come anywhere by 9 o'clock in the morning. That's a tough thing for me. That's why I left corporate America. So for me to do that for 3 weeks,
come on now.
Oh yeah, y'all gonna do what I need you to do.
That's what I'm saying.
Without me doing that.
Did we want to go ahead and take the caller that's on the line? Is the caller still on the line, Laurent? Is it caller? Are you still on the line? Valence, are you still there? No, he's probably watching.
Oh.
Yeah, it hung up. Oh. He's probably watching on YouTube, so that's good. So Valence, keep watching. We've got great information for you. If you want to call in again, please do so, okay? 323-293-3375. Thank you.
So Candace, you guys know Candace?
Yes. Hi, Candace.
Candace is saying hello to both of you. And she says, switches are necessary. My dad told me he would skin me alive, so that helped me make better choices to keep my skin.
That's right, Candace, because I got a few of those switches myself. So.
And she said, on my whole neighborhood, they told on us, the entire neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. And our neighbors could take the switch to us too, and nothing would come out of it.
Oh, no, back in the day, before you even got home.
Oh, yeah.
Mom was already standing there with the switch, because whatever you were doing before you got there, 4 blocks away, was already called in.
Yes, that's that accountability.
Yeah, boy. And that is what's missing from our village.
Absolutely.
Because it makes parenting even more difficult for you. Because if your children, you can teach your children everything in the world at your home. They get out there, and unfortunately, their friends carry a lot of weight and influence on how they behave. And now kids have to feel like they have to be so cool. And so what you're doing here is teaching them confidence.
Absolutely.
And discipline, and that you do not have to follow the leader.
Correct. The leader is within
you. Right.
Yeah, but somebody has to tell you that. Somebody has to direct you on that path, because, shout out to all the born knowing it leaders.
Right.
But then there's a percentage of us that don't know that we're leaders.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one of the things that they find phenomenal when I tell them is that everyone is actually looking for a leader, and will you be that leader?
Right.
Everybody is following, but deep down, they're looking, who's the leader? Oh, it's me? Okay, let me lead. I didn't know. And so it's really important to tell them
one of
that.
the things that we learn in organizational development is that leadership is born as well as learned. Because you bring the two together. Some people have that innate ability.
Correct.
But you also got to learn some things too.
Absolutely.
In order to be in certain environments so you can get it.
Yes.
So I like what you're doing. The spirit check, I'd like to hear a little bit more about it, how, you check them. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So if you can tell us a little bit more about that.
I actually did have one of my Persona program moms say, can you write a spirit check for my daughter, personally? And her daughter is 11. But it really is for adults.
Okay.
It is for adults. So spirit check, practical solutions for emotional mastery. How this came about was in 2016, I actually suffered a heart attack, October 15th.
Really?
Yes, I did. And
because of stress?
I would say so. Mismanagement thereof, because that's another key point. We are not going to be exempt from stress in our lives. So the mismanagement of stress, I would say, did that. But what came out of me journaling, this is why it's so important to take time each day and meditate and write down your thoughts, is in Spirit Check, I talk about 5 toxic emotions: jealousy, intimidation, fear, pride, and anger. So, and I wrote them in that order. And when I got to anger, Gilbert, is when I realized that a part of my heart attack, which I then learned is the #1 killer in the United States, is anger. I didn't realize that Michelle was carrying so much anger, but yet trying to function in the roles of all of my assignments.
Wow.
So not the detectable on the outward, because you do have some people, you see them coming and you're like, I'm going the other way. Tense and the whole thing. So that wasn't me. This is like Michelle being mom and speaker and mentor and wife and leader and everything else, that all the hats that we wear, but yet as it relates to a certain situation in my life, with support, key point again, with support around me, internalizing that thing so much that it took up space in my physical body. So it transferred from my emotions to my physical body. My body said, we cannot do this anymore because you're out here trying to function, like the song says, and you're not doing it in a healthy way. And so I had the heart attack, and I had to go back about a month later for an outpatient procedure. When I was in the hospital for that procedure, and it was very cold in the hospital, I had goosebumps, and I'm looking around at all these strangers that are hooking me up to this, that, and the other. I made a decision that whatever got me there was never going to get me in that place and position again.
So it made you think.
It made me think, and part of taking my sabbatical was actually gaining clarity as to how in the world, which is, I'm so excited. I haven't, put it out there yet. You guys are the first to know. follow-up to my book, like, how did you get there?
Yeah.
That's not the title, but the general theme. Because sometimes we end up some places in life like, wait a minute, how did I get here?
Yep.
Like, what was so out of my control, I thought, that landed me in this relationship, in this space and time in life that I'm not happy with and I feel hopeless about. That is real stuff that affects people, and it diminishes our great potential and destiny and call on our lives because we're focused on how did I get here instead of really understanding that there's some things that you did. There's some choices that you made that you thought weren't really going to matter 10 years down the line. And guess what? They matter in a big way now. And here you are. So that's where the book came out of. My platform now is to help people really check in with their emotions. I believe that if all of us practice emotional mastery, we will have better relationships. That village will be built back up. Things that happen that we're not in agreement with, that come at us, even in business, as entrepreneurs, as people of faith, when we look in our world, we will learn not to internalize them, but we will learn how to manage those emotions so they don't affect us in a toxic way.
Is there like a checklist of items that we should be thinking about? Like, if we start feeling a certain things, ask ourselves, hey, how did we get here? What's going on?
That's the check-in. Yes. I love where you're going with that.
Yeah.
And so within the 5 emotions, I do have, because I believe jealousy, intimidation, fear, pride, and anger are very common in you as a human being. Or let's say jealousy is not your thing, but intimidation is. One of the 5 you're going to be dealing with, or someone's dealing with it, and you have to interact with them. So, for example, with jealousy, which is so important, jealousy is nothing more than you realizing that, okay, I am jealous of the two of you as hosts doing your own show because at some point in my life, I should have accomplished something that I didn't for whatever reason. And so I see you doing it and you're doing it so well. And so jealousy rises up within me. And that's normal. Like these emotions are normal. I started out saying that we are not a machine. So you're going to feel the emotions, but the check comes in. Okay, so what didn't I do that I always wanted to do, but I kind of put on the back burner? Maybe if I start focusing on that, then I will not have time to focus on you because I'll be so busy in my personal development of self. And so that's, for example, something that you can do. But on a general level, that's specific. But generally speaking, we really have to slow down as a society. We really have to slow down. Journaling, prayer, meditation, eating right, exercise. Sleeping.
That's my problem.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't sleep.
All in that hustle and grind. You have to sleep. You have to re-energize your body. You have to say no. Learn how to say no and be okay with it. You have to have hard conversations. That's one of the things that I didn't do during that season of confusion that led to hopelessness and disappointment leading up to my heart attack. I didn't know how to have that hard conversation. And sometimes it's not with another person. Sometimes that hard conversation is with yourself.
Right, exactly.
Having that, like, you know what, you messed up. There are certain things that you should have done. Here's what we're going to do, talking to self from now on, and live that thing out. And learning how to even be in spaces that may not be comfortable, around people that may not be comfortable, but yet mentally checked out. Like, I'm here at the family reunion and y'all crazy. But in my mind, I'm in Hawaii.
Right, exactly.
Palm trees are glowing. The weather is perfect.
Right, exactly.
And everybody will be like, wow, what happened to Michelle? This year, she is just a different person because I'm in a different zone. You don't know. I'm looking at you, but I'm really not here.
I'm really on the beach in Hawaii. But you're absolutely right. You have to do that internal check. For me, I do it through dancing. You know, I have my Zumba classes and then I have my burlesque class that I'm really, really enjoying because it helps me be about me.
That's it.
And then I do my other workout and so forth. But and that's important because we work. We are always at somebody else's command. We're always in make money mode, and so sometimes you just need to be able to shut down. I said yesterday after the class, I am going to sleep tomorrow. until my body wakes me up.
Right.
I turned off all the alarms this morning. I disconnected them, and I'm going to wake up when I need to because I earned it.
That's
in
it.
the last 3 weeks, I earned to sleep late.
That's it.
And then I'm only at work on the business zone stuff today. And that's all I did. Somebody texted me and said, can we do a meeting next week? No. Can we push it back a week? I need to debrief because I need to come out of child mode, and then I need to go back to dealing with adult training.
So you got it. You know how to spirit check.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I call it spirit check is whether we realize it or not, our emotions live in our spirit. They don't live on the outside. Like I'm not wearing intimidation.
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
acting it out, but it lives somewhere, which is in our spirit, because that's what we're made up of: body, soul, and spirit.
Right, exactly. That's excellent. So is this a purchasable? I mean, is it on Amazon?
It is on Amazon. It actually came out August 2017. So it came out last year, and it's just been wonderful. I actually have an ebook, and I'm getting ready to do small classes with people who are ready to. What the ebook is all about is clean inside. And it's you can sign up on my website if you want to do it over 5 days. But then we're going to be doing it in a small setting with a small group of people with full disclosure, but non-disclosure as well in that environment, where we're going to go back, because some of the things and the emotions that we possess were actually put on us as well. So sometimes things happen when your mother was pregnant with you, and you have no control of her emotions while you're in her womb. And so you come out and your behavior is defined in a certain way, and you're
trying to figure out
you're
why.
trying to figure out why.
Yeah.
And so this is real inner work for people who want to be better. This is not for everybody. This is for people that really say, you know what, I want to go back. I want to go back as far as the womb. My environment that I was birthed in. Maybe my parents were, in the middle of a divorce, and here I am 3 months, but there's things going on in the atmosphere. Things are being said. Words are being thrown. There was physical violence. All of that stuff affects you when you're 40 and 50, affects you as you're dealing with, as being an entrepreneur in relationships, with your significant other. Like, it affects every aspect of our lives. And those of us that are ready to really define how or why we are the way we are and learn how to be better, then that's what this is for.
Oh, that's absolutely excellent. I know
Unbelievable.
My mom used to say, because she had me out of wedlock, which you think was more stressful than the ones that she had when she got married, right? But she says, by far, you were the best pregnancy because I made a decision to do this. She made a decision to tell my birth father that if you weren't going to be there 24/7, don't be there at all. So then she created her own village.
Right.
And she goes, you were the most peaceful pregnancy that I had. It was absolutely, and my spirit tells you that.
There you go.
That there was no, but then my brother and sister, whole different thing because he got married. I tell
Same mother though, right?
Same mother.
So you see what I mean?
Yeah,
It does affect
same
us
mother
differently.
because she was completely stressed.
Yeah.
I told her when she got married she thought she needed to find a father for me. So I said, you should have asked me, and I would have told you not to worry about that. We were cool,
Right.
But she did. But with my brother and sister both, there was a lot of turmoil within the environment around her. In fact, my brother was actually born with a deficiency. His stomach was turned upside down. But it was because she was under so much stress. So you are absolutely right. We don't know what was going on at the time.
And that generation sometimes don't share.
They don't share,
Right.
depending
and
on
then
what
this generation is just sharing everything.
Yeah.
So we're on two
But we're on
different
social
different
media.
side of the
So we tell
spectrum.
everything on social media, right?
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the top of the hour. And our special guest today was Miss Michelle Collins. She was phenomenal. I'm sitting here thinking, man, we should have a video going on here so we can sell that video.
In fact, she should be back.
We got to invite her back,
so
and
should
Dr. Talley as well.
Dr. Talley.
Yes.
And I think next time we'll have both of them
We'll have
sitting
both
here,
of them.
and we can interact.
help the people.
Yeah, so we can really help therapy for the people.
Build the village.
Build the village, and this is how we build in the village.
Yes.
Because before you can be a successful entrepreneur, you have to be all the internal, the heart, the soul, the spirit, and the brain all have to be in alignment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we have to be able to one, heal the soul from whatever created the issues, and then give you permission to be successful. Then you and I come in, Gilbert, and we can teach you to be successful.
At 360 degree.
That's how we
360 degree, baby. That's
but
it.
we have to. So we're gonna use all our. So when you have your seminar, let me know.
I will.
I will make sure. I'm
Fall
gonna buy this
2018.
Yes.
Okay. Coming up, and then I will. I know a number of my friends that can really
we'll help to
use
announce
your book.
it as well.
Yeah, this is great. My spiritual journey came because of some stuff that was going on that I needed, and because I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years, I had no choice but to pull.
Won't he do it? Won't he slap you down and then look up?
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
Right. So that's what I did. But I'm the self-help of self-helpers.
Right.
So, but there are other people that don't know how to find those tools.
Yeah.
So I commend you on what you do.
Great job.
And thank you so much.
Yes.
I commend Wendy on what you do. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
And however Gilbert and I can help, then we're here for you. And we're going to have the next time.
We're going to bring them back.
Yes.
We got to
That's
bring
my
them
girl.
back.
And we're gonna forego our dialogue, and we're going to start at
That's what I'm talking
3:05,
about.
And then we're going to work out some stuff up here.
You know, if they have the time, we could do it next week.
Yeah.
They have the time.
Let's work it out. Let's work it out.
You see what I mean?
Because this is the conversations we have to have.
This is valuable and it's needed.
Yeah.
Right.
Because she's talking over there, and what I'm doing, I'm checking myself. I'm going, okay, did I do that? Is that
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what we need.
Self-inventory.
Because I know I get anger sometimes. Going, where's this coming from? And it happens when someone gets close to you. I know we got to go real quickly, but it happens when someone gets close. And why am I getting so angry when this person gets near me?
Yeah.
But it's some stuff that went on.
Right.
Absolutely.
Kind of like what we talked about.
I'm here for you, Gilbert.
See what
I'm here
saying?
for you.
It's like I'm going, why?
Right.
But we're on the Business Zone with
Crystal.
Gilbert and
Michelle Collins.
There we
And
go.
Wendy there, and we had
Wendy
a great
Talley.
show.
And
Thank
Dr.
you guys.
Talley.
And Dr.
This has been wonderful.
Zoom with me, Dr. Talley. So thank you so much, guys, and tune in next week on Friday from 3 to 5, and we will continue all of this wonderful expertise that happens on this show.
On the Business Zone.
Yes.
We're out.
We're out.
As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan.